I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm stuck again. Not injured, not burned out. I know exactly how to train. I know how to run. I know how Zone 2 works. I know what consistency does over time. And yet, my running has been inconsistent. Not because I don't care, and not because I don't care, but because of life, because of weather, work, my own head keeps getting in the way. And if you're here right now, there's a good chance that you may be in the same place as I am. This video isn't about fixing it, it's about putting a name to it. Look, missing one run shouldn't matter, but mentally it does. It hits me pretty hard because I like to run. I like the joy of running. But sometimes I get in my head, and when you miss that one run, it kind of leads into a spiral of taking multiple days. And then when you have a large gap between them, it feels like the chasm is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and coming back to it seems like it's never going to happen. I've been on the treadmill. I've been on the road. I've been walking up and down stairs. Right there. Even I've looked at putting my name in the hat to run a small 5K or a 10K. But just even the thought of driving to one of those locations, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's hard. And starting over feels heavier than just continuing. The longer I wait, the bigger it feels. Knowing more doesn't always make it easier. Knowing more about running sometimes is kind of a detriment that I find, because back in the day when I didn't know so much about heart rate training and consistency and pacing and warm-ups and cool downs and eating right and all this kind of stuff, I just ran. It was simple. But now that I know as much as I do know, I find it's kind of like being in the jungle. You have all this knowledge and you're trying to weave your way out through all the trees, and it's just hard that way. I don't know. It's just the way I roll, right? But knowing as much as I know doesn't always make it easier. Sometimes I just wish it was simple and you just go out and run. And the hardest part of running isn't the running itself. It's returning after you stop and start and stop and start. It's frustrating. Now, I've talked about this before, but the hardest part of running isn't necessarily the activity of running itself. It's making sure that you get up at a certain time, and then making sure that you warm up, and making sure you go to the washroom, and making sure that you have your clothes that you're going to be able to go out and run. But then again, where I am right now, it looks like it's a snow globe, and I don't know, it may be sunny when I start off, but then 20 minutes later, it could be in the middle of a snowstorm, and, maybe the wind picks up, and there's so many different things to think about. And, the older you get, the colder it is. It's harder on the joints and on the bones and on the ligaments. It's harder in the winter time. And so even if I wanted to go to the gym to go on a treadmill, I still have to get up and then I have to go. But it's the act of getting ready to get out the door to I have to shovel the snow before I can even get out of the driveway. And then I get to the gym, and then I'm all ready to, I change and I get all ready. And once I battle and that whole acrobat of motivation and hoops that you have to go through to get there, then you find yourself not on a treadmill because there is not one. There isn't one. They're already all taken. The one that was working yesterday doesn't work right now. And so you have 2 or 3 that are out of commission, and you got all these other people that are doing their run, and you don't know how long their run is going to be, and you can't really ask them because they're all plugged in, and you don't want to disturb them while they're doing their... There's all that happens. So the hardest part about running isn't the run. It's everything that surrounds it that causes the issue, specifically when it's cold outside. And I know what you're going to tell me. Dave, why don't you just go out and buy a treadmill, put it in the basement? That ain't going to happen. I should shut up and stop my complaining. And the other hard part about running, with it not being about running, it's returning. It's these stops and starts and stops and starts and stops and starts and continues. That drives me crazy. I really don't like it. But I'm in that cycle right now. And it's so frustrating because it's the last thing I want to be. It seems like the tail end of the year and then the new year, there's always these... life pushes back real hard when you're trying to do something good for yourself. And it's giving you all the reasons to not do that one thing that you know it's going to be good. And I know what you're going to say. Dave, why don't you just sign up for a race and make it easy on yourself and put it on your calendar, and you know that you have something to train for. I can hear you all say that in the comments. But that's where this thing gets kicked in again. And I start thinking, well, I can't because I got to go do this for work, or I got to do this for family, or I got to do this. There's something going on. And again, it's not the run itself. Like if it was the run right outside my door, easy peasy, you think. But if I have to drive somewhere, then I got to get ready to do all that to get there. It's like going to the gym and get there and then do the whole race thing. And then I got to come back from the race thing. And then you're like, the day disappears pretty quick, right? So I always have to be mindful I have to look after everybody else first. And it's this constant cycle. Maybe I need a new career. Come on, YouTube, let's make some money that I can live on. Throwing me this peanuts is just not working. I said that in my other video last week. Or the week before, I can't remember when it was. Realizing consistency isn't about run streaks or just streaks in general. It's about shortening the gap between stopping and starting again and again and again. Right now, I'm not chasing pace. I'm not chasing distance, heart rate, progress. I'm just trying to rebuild my rhythm. For now, my only rule is this. If I can run or move for 10 minutes, it counts. Running, walking, going on the treadmill, walking outside, it doesn't matter. Movement doesn't start big. It starts small and it's repeatable. If you're inconsistent right now, you're not broken. You didn't lose it. You're just between chapters. And I'm here too, figuring it out, one small run at a time. So I've been here before. And it's going to be not the last time that I'm here. But I will dig myself out of where I am right now, like I always do. But on my channel, I share the good, the bad, and the ugly about looking after yourself, becoming a runner, being a runner, and incorporating that into your life. And it's never going to look clean. It's never going to be simple. It's going to be messy. It's going to be ups and downs and around corners, and it's just going to be a big mess. And if you have kids, it gets even crazier, trying to fit it all in. But people do it. But just because other people are doing it, you can't compare yourself to what's going on with them, because again, what's happening inside this little noggin of mine and what happens in my world is different than someone else, and it's different than someone else. So it's just the reality of it. So I like to share these things with all of you. And I'm not down, I'm not sad, I'm not any of these things. I'm just sharing what's been going on with me. So I'm always showing up, I'm always giving, and with that, it's time to get out and run. See you on the next one, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, and let's get me to like 9,000 subscribers. Maybe, can we get to 10? I don't know, but with your help, maybe I can. With that, get out and run, and we'll see you on the next one.